Bill, if you look at your own life, how do you personally restore the balance between independence and intimacy? And along those lines of habits, what small practices have you found make the biggest difference?
I think the small habits is the key question. That's the exact way to phrase it. When I remember reading an article in the New York Times where the writer talked about how he'd fallen out of touch with all of his old friends from college. And so he decided to call them all up and get together with them. And over weeks, he tracked them down and they found each other and they got together. And he ends the article by saying, am I going to keep this up? Probably not. It's just too time demanding. We don't have time to do this. And what you want are little things that you can change that don't actually that aren't too demanding of your time. And so for me, what I thought about is, okay, what are all the things that I do alone just because they're things I want to do, but they don't have to be alone? And sometimes it might seem like they have to be alone. Like I like to do the New York Times crossword, but you don't have to do a crossword puzzle alone, especially if you're not very good, like I'm not, because then you could use a little help. And so my sister, who I mentioned earlier and lives in London, also likes to do the crossword. And by Thursday, the puzzle's gotten hard enough that I struggle to solve it. And so does she. So now she lives in London. I live in Australia. When she wakes up in the morning, it's late in the afternoon for me. She makes herself coffee and then she gets on social media and contacts me, and up pops her on the phone or my computer. And then we chit chat and do the crossword puzzle together. And it's way nicer than doing the puzzle by yourself because you still are autonomous. You're still doing what you want to do, but now you're also maintaining connection at the same time. And so that was the decision. And I actually arrived at that decision during COVID when suddenly we're all locked down to a fair degree and it's hard to get together with people in person. I thought, okay, how can I rebuild connection into parts of my life where I just have to be alone? And it's those lots of little decisions like that. When you exercise, when you paint, when you do walk your dog, any of those kinds of things, you don't need to be alone. And so therefore you shouldn't be.